Welcome to the Sterilization Station, the podcast that empowers and inspires sterile processing professionals. I'm your host, Bill Rishell. I'm here to bring you insights, innovation, and expert discussions that are going to elevate sterile processing departments everywhere. And we're so glad you made it to another episode. In each episode, we're going to explore ways to strengthen department culture, embrace growth, and we aim to impact patient safety. We'll bring you interviews with industry-leading vendors and showcase technologies transforming our field, making our jobs easier and more efficient. From hot topics in infection control to best practices and overcoming challenges, Sterilization Station is your place to learn, grow, and connect. So whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, there's something here for everyone. So buckle up and get ready to thrive in sterile processing. Let's dive in. Welcome to another episode. I'm so glad you tuned in today. And today we have a wonderful episode that I'm pretty confident is going to empower, inspire, and motivate you in your quest of sterile processing. So whether you're a student tuning in, whether you're a seasoned professional, or whether you're someone that's interested in maybe going into the field of sterile processing, I'm very thankful that you tuned in. I count it a privilege and an honor. My name is Bill Rishell. I've been in sterile processing for over 20 years, and I'm so excited that having a podcast to have an opportunity to empower those in sterile processing. For those who are starting to follow me and to listen in and get encouragement, last year, 2024, was a very interesting year for me, and I was in a major car accident and wasn't even sure if sterile processing was going to be something that I was going to be able to continue to do. Thank God he allowed me the space of grace to continue in this thing we call life, and I just want to empower those in the realm of sterile processing and encourage through my testimony in the industry. And I am back in the department leading a small team, and I'm very thankful for all of them and the contribution that they add to sterile processing. Now, today's topic is a topic that is very dear to my heart. Today, I would like to talk about the power of hands-on training. And externships are just so important for positioning a technician to be successful. You can get a job in sterile processing without externships, but your externships, whether it's a 6-week or 240-hour externship, or if it's 400 or 10 weeks, it is going to position you for the best opportunity for success because you're going to get that hands-on training. And so once again, welcome in and looking forward to diving into this discussion. Now, the first thing I would like to mention is how real-world experience is irreplaceable. Learning how to properly load an autoclave in a real environment is much different than reading it out of a textbook. Handling instruments, understanding workflows, these are all things that are so much more different when you're in the field. When you get to experience, what it's like to properly load that steam sterilizer or that hydrogen peroxide gas plasma, or whether you're able to reprocess flexible scopes, whether they're cystoscopes, ureteroscopes, whether they're gastroscopes or colonoscopy scopes, or duodenoscopes, how it's different when you have the opportunity to process them yourself. And those delicate instruments, whether they're eye instruments, you got your micro instruments, the experience of that definitely outweighs reading it from a textbook or reading it through a picture book. Now it definitely has its place and it is beneficial. However, that real life experience is very important. Another area I'd like just to address is how most employers prefer hands-on training. They prefer that you have touched instruments and participated in an externship. Now, it doesn't mean you can't be successful, especially if you're a person who's proactive, market yourself, and hungry. Now, I will share a little bit about my story. Like when I was going through my program toward the last month of my sterile processing program, which I took at an adult school in Northern California, how I printed out a list of all of the hospitals from Sacramento to San Jose. I got me a highlighter, and on my lunch breaks, I went to the parking garage, sat on the stairs, and I called one by one. I introduced myself. I had a script. Hi, my name is Bill. I just changed my life. Want to get into sterile processing? Would you give me an opportunity as an extern student? And one of the ladies at a hospital wrote my name down, and that same lady was assistant manager, called the school and asked for me. And so it created an opportunity by marketing. So I do believe that you can market yourself. Many hospitals won't hire you without verified hands-on experience. My experience, 20 years, I've experienced it. Certification is not going to be enough for you to prove you can handle the day-by-day operation. You need to be in these departments perfectly practicing to reach perfection. So I just want to encourage you that, you really want to try to get an externship. It's very, very important. Competitive job candidates have externship experience, and this is making it harder for the online ones to get in. And so it's very competitive out there. But just remember, you come in this world, you're a social security number. You get old enough, you get a driver's license number. Then you get a credit score. So you're basically through life tracked by a number system. The reason why I say that is, another pro tip is that it's important for you to call the hospitals. Follow up a week afterwards. Send an email, a thank you card. Stop by if possible and just say, hey, I applied for this position, I'd like to get a follow-up. You want to put, when you give that phone call, you want to let them experience you. Tell your story. Sometimes telling your story, you hit the emotional side of a manager, and sometimes it can create opportunities. Remember, you're a real person. Let them feel your spirit. Let them feel you. Get a feel for who you are. You're going to gain confidence in handling medical instruments. Holding and assembling an endoscope is much more different than seeing it on a video. Physically practicing instrument wrapping is much different than memorizing the steps in the textbook. When you're practicing that and those wrapping, it's very important, and it will help you in your career. Becoming comfortable with heavy trays and delicate tools in a real setting, getting the feel, hearing the ultrasonic, hearing the sterilizer, knowing what it's like to glove up and pull racks out of the sterilizer, pull loads out of the disinfector washer. This only comes by experience. Learning the pace of the department. This is so important. Understanding the shift work and department flows, which is impossible to grasp online. Adapting to a stat situation. They have sterile processing liaisons. They're the middle person between the OR and SPD, and how they're up there trying to add value in understanding their customer, which is the surgical suite team. You're only going to gain that having to turn over a tray, take it through the process, make sure it's decontaminated properly, it's ran in a sterilizer, or if you are utilizing the immediate use steam sterilization, the IUSS systems, it's another opportunity for you to learning how to manage multiple priorities. We call that triage in healthcare in a high pressure environment. It gets pressure, it gets hot, there's pressure. We got to get this tray out. We got to do it right, but we always want to never skip the steps. Remember, every patient deserves the same experience. And you would want that if it was your mother, your wife, your children, or your grandmother. So make sure that we're giving every patient the same experience from the start to the finish. We're not skipping steps, that we are washing those instruments, turning over those trays with care. It's so ironic that we work in an industry called patient care and healthcare. Make sure you care. Make sure your care is felt and how you communicate to those who you're servicing, and in how you do the work. Make sure you're really coming from the heart, because what we do has a great impact on people's lives. We're saving lives. As my good friend from Kaiser would say, we are saving lives. And so you should be happy and thankful that you signed up to save lives. Exposure to different sterilization techniques. This is another important reason why externships are going to benefit you. You're going to get hands-on use of steam sterilizers versus reading about it. You're going to learn about the documentation of the biologicals. Check in your receipt to make sure that printout is meeting all the parameters specified in your training manual, as well as according to the standards. Seeing biological indicators is different when you're doing it in person. Learning the pace of the sterile processing department. This is another example of why externships are so important, is to be able to get the pace and learn how the flow of the department will be in sterile processing. This is something that is very difficult to grasp in its completion just by reading a textbook. You want to be able to get that pace or that pulse, and that comes from the experience offered in an externship. Adapting to stat cases where instruments need immediate turnaround. This is another important point when it comes to externships. Managing multiple priorities in a high pressure environment and exposure to different sterilization techniques. Another thing that you can learn in externships is the different sterilization techniques that you'll be able to learn as you're being precepted as a student. When you come into the department, you'll be precepted and you'll begin to learn some of these things that are really, really important, like how to load a sterilizer, how to unload a sterilizer, what's the process, how to utilize a tracking system. There's a lot of good tracking systems out there. We got new technologies coming out. Of course, we're going to cover an episode in the Sterilization Station and introduce you to some wonderful vendors. Stay tuned, and you'll hear more about that in future episodes. There's a lot of innovations coming out, and we want to make sure that we're bringing it to you so you can learn. And so I'm getting into more details about why an externship is so important, is learning how to use the steam autoclave, practicing low temperature sterilization methods like hydrogen peroxide gas plasma. You know, most people know this as Sterile, offered by the ASP line of product, but it's a great product. They have great machines, and I just love the technology behind it. It's so fascinating to me. But Bill, the science guy, right? I love science, so you'll learn that as you get to know me a little bit more. Another thing that's really important about externships is building those professional connections and mentors. If you know Bill Rishell, you know I love people. I love people. I love people of all nationalities, getting to know them, different cultures. I love mentoring. And what's so important about mentorship, you can listen to my episode that I did on mentorship, is compatibility, is understanding the learning style of those you're mentoring. That's really important. If you're a preceptor, if you're an educator, it's not always in what you're saying. It's also in how you're saying it. It's understanding the who, what, where, when, and why of precepting. The who, what, where, when, and why of educating. If you're a lead, the who, what, where, when, and why of being a lead. It's not just a role or a title. So sometimes you can get caught up in flattering titles, but always remember your why. Why did you start up? Why did you take that position? Hope this encourages and empowers you as an educator and someone in the realm of sterile processing. So mentorship and connections is so important. Meeting experienced technicians who can offer career guidance. There are some amazing technicians out there. Amazing technicians. You know, you look at bees, you got the worker bees, you got the gathering bees, you got the queen bee. There's so many different types of bees in the hive. So whatever hive you're in of sterile processing, your department, your district, there's some people out there, they are doing a great job. And I want to tip my hat to all those out there in sterile processing. You know, Bill always says sterile processing week is not once a year. Sterile processing day is every day. We salute you. We appreciate you. The unsung heroes in the hospital, the superheroes without the capes. We wear scrubs. I appreciate everything that you do, whether you're reprocessing scopes, whether you're pill packing, whether you're in decontamination, whether you're a lead tech. We appreciate all the technicians out there. We give you kudos for job well done. Keep up the good work. Keep going. Keep growing. Building professional connections and mentorship. In doing this, you will learn tricks of the trade from seasoned professionals. You're going to learn some, as I like to call them, pro tips. Pro tips. There's pro tips out there. I work with some great people, Kyle Ramos. These people have great pro tips. Christine Salazar, Elvin Segay. We got a great team there at our location, and they're doing a great job. And we appreciate our schools that are sending the students. I love the schools. I appreciate They're creating and generating a new generation of sterile processing soldiers. As Hank Balch would say, we fight dirty. And that's what we do in sterile processing. We're here to kill microorganisms in sterilization. We're here to fight dirty and make sure that every patient deserves the same outcome, positive outcome. And when you sign up for sterile processing, it's not a job, it's a career. Maybe it's a stepping stone for you, but always remember what you do is important. And regardless if anyone tells you thank you, remember the reason why you signed up was to make an impact. You're in the basement of most facilities and people don't even know we exist until they see a tray and someone says, "What is that? What are they doing?" And you find out they're a sterile processing technician, central processing technician. You're vital in healthcare. And I want to call that out. And we appreciate you. We appreciate what you do. We appreciate how you press through those challenges. We appreciate how you show up day by day. Maybe you're in a toxic environment. Maybe you're dealing with different leadership issues. Be encouraged. Continue to fight that good fight. And remember that you can make the changes as you guys come together. Be a team, one dream. All right, that was free. That didn't cost you nothing. Networking with potential employers who might offer externs job opportunities. So that's important. You know, a little story, when I was an extern student back in 2004, I remember how I came in, I brought my resume, I had my letters of recommendation, I had my references, and I came in on all shifts. And I remember the night shift supervisor, she was like, "Bill, what are you doing here so early? It's like you're here at 5 a.m. See, what happened was I asked someone, what's the best time to talk to the night shift supervisor? I knew they had a position available, and they said, well, you got to come by 5:30 because she leaves. My externship wasn't until 7. I was fully dressed, ready at 5 o'clock with a resume in hand for Shelly because I knew they had a position available, and I wanted to make sure she knew who I was and that I would love to be considered for this open role. So making sure you're networking, you know, set up an appointment with the manager halfway through your externship and just take it serious. Be serious about it. Tell her you'd like to meet with her. Can I make an appointment? Don't just walk up to her office. Like, let her know you're setting aside time that's very serious to you. It's serious to you. And have that conversation with her. Tell her, you know, ask her if they have any openings. Tell her you're really interested. Share with her some things you noticed in the department that you like and how you would love to be given a chance to, you know, be under their leadership and to learn and continue to grow in your career in sterile processing. So this is another reason why networking and the externship is so important. You get to meet real people. You get to physically give them their resume, and they get to learn and see why you are the right candidate for that job. And it's really important when you're doing it, when you're in these externship opportunities, how you carry yourself. You know, if you're in the break room, stay away from political conversations in the department. When someone's complaining, stay away from that. Don't join yourself with folly. Sometimes people want to be cool and want to try to relate to people. It's not the time for that. Remember, your job during your externship is to prove to them why they need you and that you're vital, that you're a vital team member. Be positive. Maybe share an affirmation every once in a while. Let people feel you, get to know you, and ask questions as much as possible. Let them know that you'd be a great candidate for whatever role they have. Another reason why externships are so important and being able to participate in a physical on-the-side externship is because you're going to be able to see, witness, and understand hospital and surgical team collaboration between the OR and sterile processing. That's very important. Learning how to communicate with the OR staff. Maybe you're the runner or you're a liaison or you're picking cases and the scrub tech comes downstairs, and how you're going to be able to have conversations with them. You know, an example might be they come into the department Hi, my name is Bill. How can I help you? Oh, yeah, I'm looking for a major tray. They just added on a case. Oh, yeah, no problem. Let me get that for you. Is there anything else that you need? Okay, you're looking for the next case card? Okay, here it is. I'm gonna check it for you just to make sure everything's looking good. Would you like me to bring it up when I'm done checking it? Sure. Where would you like me to put it? Can you put it outside of room 2? Okay, no problem. Absolutely. If you need anything else, please let me know. My extension is 12345. Have a great day. Make it a great day. Being professional, letting them know that they are your patient. Remember, in sterile processing, we don't really get to talk to patients. So our patients are these few categories. This is what I learned in my career. My patient are the surgical techs. My patient are the nurses, the doctors, the vendors. Vendors are so important. I appreciate my relationship with the vendors. They help us. They set up our cases. They set up bring in our loaner trays. They educate us and give us in-services, which is really important. Another reason is seeing firsthand how SPD affects patient care. When you're collaborating, you're going to be able to see how important firsthand how we affect different outcomes in patients. Handling urgent requests from surgeons and nurses is a communication. These are some things you're going to see. So you're going to be able to, I know some facilities I've worked in, we have what's called service leads, whether it's for ortho or spine, cardiac, neuro, general, and how this is usually a OR nurse or a scrub tech who's responsible for making changes to count sheets, building trays, requesting instruments, making changes, and supporting in the surgical procedures. And so this service lead is someone who's going to oversee the operating room by service. And so in sterile processing, what we would do is establish someone who would be the point of communication with that team, would meet, periodically to discuss trays, get instruments that they wanted to order, and then, facilitate that, get the trays ready, have the service lead check it off, maybe show the doctor. And our job is just to make sure that they have everything that they need. Maybe even auditing a tray to see if maybe we could decrease some instrumentation, which would preserve the assets of those instruments. And then, of course, developing problem-solving skills in real time. Troubleshooting sterilization failures, learning what is the hospital policy and process on that. Of course, leaning on the guidance of those standards. Identifying missing instruments and trays, learning how to handle unexpected challenges or failures on equipment. Learning, I know where we're at. Currently, where I'm at, we have biomed engineer that manages all of our assets, our sterilizers, different electrical equipment that have electrical components, and how we have a computerized system where we put in our orders, and usually we'll get a phone call to verify what's going on, and then we'll print out a document that we can put near the sterilizer so that everyone in the department has a uniform approach to what's going on. And then gaining a competitive edge in the job market. This is such an important aspect of externships. Hiring managers prioritize externs with hands-on training. That's just by my experience. I know that, if you were to comment on this, you would also say that that's something that happens in sterile processing. Some hospitals hire directly from their externship programs. They reach out and they say, hey, we hired some of your students. We know they're good. You're producing good qualified candidates. So they'll reach out to them. So because of that externship, it's created a pool for others to benefit and get hired in sterile processing. And then, of course, these externships are also the schools are going to help them to develop a strong resume. And then coupled with that externship opportunity, will have real world experience, which is going to make you stand out. If you get a 400-hour externship, that's almost 2 months of training, 2 months of training in the department. Managers are going to really look at that and say, wow, this person definitely has built up some experience. And then building muscle memory and skill mastery. Practice makes perfect, or perfect practice makes perfect. When you're repetitive with the trays, going to decon, going through your externship, doing a week here, a week there, a day here, a day there, you're going to gain that experience and repetition. And then physically assembling trays ensures efficiency and speed. So important. And, I'm just thankful that you tuned in today to listen to just some tips and tricks on what you could do to verify and validate your externship. And so today, I'm so glad you checked in. Externship opportunities really create the best opportunity, in my experience, for people to be successful and to get the attention of managers that are seeking and are willing to hire students. So if you're considering a sterile processing program, I would highly recommend researching if they have externships because it's so important. Hospitals and sterile processing managers are pushing for more externship partnerships, and this is to ensure a well-trained workforce. So if you've had an externship experience that helped launch your career, please share your story, whether it's on our LinkedIn page, Sterilization Station, whether it's commenting on this post. Please share your story. I would love to hear your story. And if you're interested in me highlighting your story on an episode, I love SPD folks and would love to share your story, an overcoming story, a victorious story, something that would empower, give the authority for people to be successful. And so I'm so thankful that you tuned in today. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe to the Sterilization Station and Empowerment Podcast of Sterile Processing. Make it a great day. Always remember what you do in sterile processing is so important. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.